There is a line in America. You can't see it from space. It's not written into the Constitution, and it doesn't appear on most modern maps, but it still decides how Americans vote,
how they think, and why the country feels more divided than ever. This line never disappeared. It just evolved. America looks united on paper. One flag, one constitution,
one nation. But beneath that surface, the country has always been split by invisible borders: political, cultural, economic, and racial.
These divisions didn't come from social media. They didn't start in modern politics. They began centuries ago. With a map to understand America today, you have to go back to its first major divide. In the early United States, there were two very different Americas. The North was industrializing. Cities were growing. Factories, trade, and immigration shaped daily life. The South was rural and agricultural.
Wealth depended on land, plantations, and enslaved labor. This wasn't just a cultural difference, it was a power struggle.
As the nation expanded westward, every new state raised the same explosive question: would it allow slavery or not? To keep the country from tearing itself apart, lawmakers began drawing invisible lines across the map, lines meant to balance power, not morality. The most famous was the Missouri Compromise line. North of it, slavery was restricted. South of it, slavery was protected. That line was supposed to hold the nation together. Instead, it hardened division. By the mid-1800s, the map had split into two opposing worlds: Union states in the north,
Confederate states in the south. For the first time, America's division was no longer theoretical. It was physical. It was military. It was deadly. The Civil War killed more Americans than any conflict before or since.
When the war ended, slavery was abolished and the Union survived. But the line didn't vanish. It went underground. After the war, the country was reunited on paper, but in daily life, a new map replaced the old one.
Segregation laws spread across the former Confederacy. Voting rights were restricted. Economic opportunity was blocked. If you mapped education, income, and political power after the Civil War, you'd notice something unsettling.
The old battle lines still mattered.
The divide had evolved from slavery to segregation. Then, in the 20th century, the line began to move. Millions of black Americans left the South in what became known as the Great Migration. They moved north and west, into cities like Chicago, Detroit, New York, and Philadelphia.
The map changed again. Cities grew more diverse. Politics shifted. Culture transformed. The old North-South divide became something new: urban versus rural. By the mid-1900s, America's deepest split was no longer just about geography. It was about lifestyle. Cities became dense, diverse, and politically progressive. Rural areas remained traditional, less populated, and more conservative. If you overlay modern voting maps onto population density maps, they almost perfectly align.
Blue clusters around cities, red stretching across rural land, not states. Lifestyles. The divide had changed shape. Modern election maps make America look cleanly split into red states and blue states.
But that image is misleading. Most red land contains fewer people. Most blue areas are densely populated.
When elections are remapped by population instead of land, America looks completely different. Yet land still holds power. Because of systems like the Senate and the Electoral College, geography still outweighs population. A decision made centuries ago still shapes modern elections. So why does the divide feel sharper today?
Because technology removed the middle ground. Algorithms reward outrage. Media amplifies extremes. Politics became identity. The old line hardened again. Only now, it doesn't just exist on maps.
It exists in minds. Every generation believes it will be the one to finally heal America. History suggests otherwise. America doesn't erase its divisions. It rebrands them. Slavery became segregation. Segregation became inequality. Inequality became polarization. The line survives by changing form. The most important map of America isn't the one you learned in school.
It's the one that reveals power, access, and fear. That line never disappeared. It just evolved. And now that you see it, you will start noticing it everywhere.